Okay, you're live.
Oh, I'm gonna come in late.
Yeah, this is the first one, and this is not.
All right, the time, is everything all set going now?
Yeah, I believe so,
All
yeah.
right, the time is now 6:30, so I'm going to call to order the regular Tuesday, May 24th, 2016 meeting of the Tilton Planning Board. And if you notice, there's an arrow on the agenda. Oh, Dory only did it on mine, but I won't bring it up anyway. We're going to review the minutes of May 10th, 2016. From now on, we won't tonight, but in the future we will. That's the way that it's suggested that we handle it. And we haven't done it because, as you remember, at one point in time, the minutes of the meeting took sometimes half the meeting, and it became very hard to, delaying the meeting became an issue. So from now on, we will be doing the minutes at the beginning of the meeting as suggested in the proposal that was approved at town meeting. So in the future, we'll see them there, and that's the reason for it, no other reason at all. Okay? So the first order of business is continuation of site plan 16-03, the proposal to construct a commercial office building at 580 Laconia Road in the mixed-use district. And as you remember, there were some questions and some concerns because the application did not appear to be complete. There were questions about drainage, there were questions about the terrain, and so we continued the case so that Mr. Bernard could come and discuss it in more detail with us.
Very good, thank you. So, first thing I'd like to discuss, which we're having a difficulty visualizing without having a plan or something in front of you. So, this is the design of the building. One of the questions were, well, how was I able to build this building? So, hopefully after you've all seen the design, it pretty much alleviates any more questions. We can get back to it if it is, but usually, what do the Chinese say? One picture's worth 1,000 words. So, the other thing that we've done since the last time is that Eric, you asked me to have an engineered plan, so I went out and I've had the plans engineered. Turner Group went through the whole thing and has designed it, and it's a really nice layout, and it's an engineered layout. You also see the calculations that we did for the drainage. This is for the 50-year storm, and it has a margin of error of 60%. So it is 60% over what it would be required to do for an actual 50-year event. So this is over and above it, according to the engineers. A few of the other things that we've noted that we have on here is the sign. I'm going to sit down and just listen because everybody's seen this plan. This is the fourth time that we've seen it. This is the first time it seems engineered, but it's very similar to the other ones that we started off with.
Chairman Alderman, I believe Mr. Hyra wants to.
Yes.
Yeah, I just wanted, just because Mr. Bernard's attorney's here and his attorney has represented the company I work for here before the board, so I just want to bring that full disclosure.
Yeah, that's no problem.
And,
Thank you.
bring that, I didn't know he was to be here until I walked up the ramp today, so.
Thank you, Eric. John, blow these up more because my vanity is causing problems. I have to put these down even lower.
Are we allowed to comment on this now, or not? I just have two questions. First one is, on these front spaces facing Route 3, you say 8, but I count 7. I know where I went to school,
Huh. I'm gonna pick up on it.
but it circled 8.
Yeah, so he's made a mistake. That's an engineer mistake. I'll make sure that he gets a few lashes for that.
And then the other, in other meetings you have talked about, there's going to be no notice of the building.
Right, he engineered it, and he put it back on there. He said it was a better design, so I went with the engineer.
Okay.
That was his input.
I think the engineer put 8 because he counted where he has the line for the bituminous curb.
Oh, it could be.
I think that's what he did.
Well, in this,
No one's perfect, you know?
well, in this one here, it almost looks like that's an 8 spot.
Yeah, that's what I'm,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's, I see what you're saying.
That's
now.
what I
But I
think,
just
yeah.
got up and counted it, I do see 7.
The handicap space that's touching the nose of the building, the space, and then that safety zone should be eliminated so that people are not stepping right into traffic in the parking lot.
I'm not sure, Catherine, I see the hand, which hand is capped,
You
the,
see the nose of the building?
yeah, I do.
Since we don't
Yeah.
know, anything about that end of the building, we only have, looks like the side that's facing Route 3. So, we have to, for safety's sake, assume that the entrance is there, so you step
Yeah.
out. You're gonna be stepping out right into the traffic that's going in and out of these parking lots. I didn't have it mentioned, but it looks like that's only 9 feet, that space. It's too close to the building for pedestrian safety.
Am I not seeing the dimensions of the sign? I don't see an at on the sign. Are they somewhere
It's
else?
basically a permit that we'll apply for, that we're allowed 40 square feet there, so that's just showing you where it's going to be placed. So we
Alright,
don't,
so you're just gonna give us, 'cause that was just, I'm just reading from your list.
okay.
So signage dimensions was,
So I'll say it's 40 square feet, I'm sorry, it wasn't posted on there, I was just,
oh, okay.
I thought you had said that at the last meeting anyway,
Yeah, I thought
when it came
come
up.
But,
I'm
Well,
fine
he did,
with
he said,
clarifying
he
that.
answered it.
all right. Just- Okay.
Eric, did you get both of your questions
Yes.
out? Okay. You want them?
No, that was a good-
This doesn't, I don't see no storage at all on this, so it must be all being,
No, up the way down.
oh, there it is. Okay, thank you.
I think I'm
Drainage.
calling it off. This is where she's from.
I see 2, 1, 2, 3.
That's the acquisition, that's the stripe bar, so that.
Door.
Parking lots.
They'll come here.
3, 4 lights.
Ah,
Will there be any lights on the building?
I assume we'll have a
Yeah,
downcast light.
it's in the corner there.
Yeah. Just downcast night sky, friendly pole mounted light.
Right, there's 4 of them, but there
Yeah.
aren't, I don't see any on the building. I don't know the range of those lights, so.
Well, there's,
I-
This is review of this illustration, looking at it for Route 3.
It is.
this is Route 3.
None of this is review.
Yeah. Catherine, I don't see the handicap parking area being a problem because that's the striped area. So if you have a van with a ramp, that
It's
ramp
only
would
9 feet
come
from the
down.
edge of that building. And you don't think that's a problem? Cars have to drive into it, look at the angle that they're gonna be coming into it.
So they're
Here's the building. And they
There's-
unload there.
You don't know where the door is, so let's say the door is at the edge of the building. So there's
The door for the car?
the door for pedestrians
Oh,
walking in
okay,
and
all
out
right.
of that
Oh,
building.
I got you, all right.
There's no concrete pad in front of the building. I
Okay.
don't know if that's a porch or where the entry door is. So essentially, people are gonna open the door, walk out of the building and be in traffic. There's a concrete pad on the side, but I don't know what purpose it serves. People entering and exiting that building. That's-
John, you've got a 5-foot wide sidewalk.
On the
Right.
side, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that where the door will be?
Actually not, but we've had several discussions regarding
Yeah,
sidewalks.
Where is
And
the door
the door is gonna be in the front and the middle.
then? Okay, that's.
Right here in the middle. So, this spot here that she's talking about is 9 feet wide and there's no one can park in. Because even the handicap vans that come in here, they just unload into here. So we have 9 feet from here to the nearest vehicle that could be there, which, you know, at any normal walkway that you look at, even ADA is 48 inches. So you almost have double the ADA.
Do you need the bump out?
Yeah, you really do it. And how the engineer explained it to me is that when the water sheds off of this, because the water will shed off of this, even if you have gutters, you really want to have them protected from snowfall. So if the snow falls, it will hit this one and then separate to both sides. So I was thinking that I didn't, but he convinced me that I should. We went over these plans and went back and forth over everything. And one of the things he'd like to add, I said, go ahead, you're the engineer.
I think I'll add something to this handicap issue here, that this hatch mark is not traffic. This hatch mark is an open area. And it's hatched, you've seen them on the ground, so nobody will park there. And it's 9 feet wide and from here to
So
the
you were
wall.
saying a car will never drive over that for any reason?
This hatched area,
Yeah,
it's against the law.
it's not against the law for a car to drive over that. It's against the law for a car to park in it.
Well, I guess a little.
There's
from-
nothing to protect
Can I answer the question?
pedestrians.
Can I answer the question, please? Jim, thank you. There's no place for a car to go here. There's no reason why anybody would pull in here. And this area is 9 feet wide, which is about from me to that wall right there, which is far wider than sidewalks in town. What this area does is it allows an area to load and unload the handicap. I spent the better part of the summer moving two of my both my elderly parents from Florida in 2 trips, and I can tell you, we hit every handicap, and before we stopped, I got out, went to check to see whether it was going to work or not. Some do, some don't. This one is going to work. It's right next to the door. People sometimes put handicap spaces over here, and if somebody's on a walker, it doesn't work. They can't get there. This one, 9 feet, I like some handicap spaces don't even have the van, this is the van, wheelchair access. Some of them don't have that, and that's a problem, because then you have to wait for somebody to get out of the way, in the next space. A lot of times people will just move out of the way, because they're nice about it. But this works, and you're not walking right into the building either. There's an entryway here. The door, John says the door is going to be in the middle, so there's another 4 or 5 feet before you even get to it. So it works.
Could we do something to prevent people from driving up to drop someone off in front, because they drive over that line or even next to that sidewalk?
Oh, here? Well, is this?
Like a grocery store, they pull up to the door, drop off and drive off?
Well, I think from a practical standpoint, if they do that, with the swing of the way this works, they're gonna stop out here. They're not gonna pull right. I mean, the handicap people are gonna pull into the handicap
Right.
space. But to drop someone off, they're gonna pull here so they can come back around.
Is there directional, so say the traffic's gonna go like that, or they can just go like this, right?
Yeah, they can, yeah. I mean, this parking lot, I was telling John that from a design standpoint, this parking lot, to build it economically, it's not the best design because you have all this area out here that doesn't do anything. But from a functionality of the parking lot, this is great because everybody can, you don't have any cars behind you. I'm trying to think of, you've all been in the parking lots where you turn around and you go, oh, I can barely get out of here.
Well, that's any groceries, any malls.
Yeah, but like I said, you don't have that here because you've got this whole expanse, and people know, generally when you come in, you go to the right anyway, and the building's over here. So if someone's going to drop off, they're going to do it like that.
those, all 10 of those spaces?
He does, because of the zoning.
Kind of, it's not easy to get.
It's hard to prevent people dropping off the all the time at the store.
Yeah, this is not going to be just the size of the building.
What's the name of this building again?
Do you have this leased up yet?
I don't, but I have had a couple of calls. The most recent one was a convenient care. But I don't know if that's going anywhere.
A what,
So,
John?
Convenient care, you know, like what they have up at the mall, you go in there. That was my most recent call that I had. But right now, it's just speculation. I have nothing. It would be a lot easier if I did. I could design it for that particular use. I don't. It's kind of like build and they will come. Build the dreams.
Like your daily old puff with. Sorry.
Do I have the list?
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, it's on the minutes?
Oh, this is.
Yeah.
So, according to our zoning, so other commercial uses, you need one space per 300 square feet. This indicates this 2,000 square feet. Eric has calculated he needs 7 spaces. So there's plenty of parking there. Those 2 spaces could be eliminated and a concrete pad put there, raised, so that when somebody steps out of that building, they're not stepping out into a parking lot. They're in a safety area, they can determine which way traffic is coming and going. Even though it's way over in the corner, we'd say, well, nobody's gonna drive through that, but yet, in the abutting property, we have a walkway, and cars regularly park on the walking path. So since there isn't gonna be a traffic policeman or person out there controlling the flow of parking in the parking lot, I think for the safety of those entering and exiting that building, those 2 spaces should be eliminated. These 2 spaces next to it could then become the handicap. They're still within a good short distance of the building, and a concrete pad raised, put in for the safety of those entering and exiting the building. And anyone that's sat in Walmart parking lot for any length of time will see that people park wherever, even in those hashed areas, even if it is illegal.
I quite frankly have a handicapped street that's sticker and park in the handicap, and I've never seen it. ever.
Oh, I have, with my husband all the time.
I have.
All the
I really
time.
have.
But nevertheless, regardless if anybody has seen that, people entering and exiting that building deserve a safe place to step out onto and then determine what the traffic flow is, where the cars are, is it safe to proceed through the parking lot? And since our own zoning shows that you only need 7 spaces, you could easily eliminate those 2.
What, eliminate the handicap space and the one next to it?
All kinds of different.
Just move it over, eliminate those 2 and make the 2 next to it the handicap.
But then there's less parking.
He's
According
got
to-
enough, according to.
According to
I know,
Eric, just
yeah.
figured you only need
He's
7
got 10
spaces.
spaces.
Yeah, but what he needs,
What
and
do we
what
have
would be
at dental?
desirable
Did
would
they
be 2
have to
different.
build
Okay, he has
sidewalk?
more than twice
I
what's
wasn't
required
here
for
then.
2,000 square foot
I need to
building.
step up and talk at this
Okay.
point.
It's-
Sorry,
hey,
guys. There's a few things that come up that, one of them doesn't make sense. If we're gonna have a raised area for them to come in, it's not handicap accessible at that point. So that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. The second question we have, we're saying 2,000 square foot building. This is 2,000 on this floor. This second floor is another 2,000. So we had a 4,000 square foot building.
So that means you
We
need
would
14.
we'd need twice that many parking. And that's only for that one particular use. If you read through the zoning, which I have, on every use that you do, it requires a different amount of parking. So I need to have as much parking as I can because I do not have the use at the end. And the other thing, this is what is allowed by your regulations.
Yes.
Would, to alleviate Ms. Dawson's concern, would you be able to take this space, just move it over one, and then add a space over here? I mean, it's already labeled 8, so,
For the sake of moving things forward, I'd be happy to do that.
I mean, I'm just trying to.
I have a concern though, however, with a pad, and the same concern that you brought up, which I was gonna bring up before you did. You have handicapped people, you don't want a raised pad.
You have a ramp.
need something, well, so that pad will need to have a ramp, okay?
Well, I think if we eliminate the pad and we just have it like you would have a striped or a protected area.
Yeah.
We're gonna move one back and move a space over. We'll just stripe it so they don't have to do a ramp. I mean, doing that pad's not gonna hurt me, not gonna help me, but it's not gonna make life easier for anybody else. And especially the guy who has to plow the place, because I'm the guy who plows the place. If I don't have a pad right there, I don't have to get out and shovel around the pad. I just push the snow off of it, and no one's parking in my handicap spaces while I'm around. Try it. I mean, it's just, yeah, not only just for my place, but anybody. Yeah, that's just so, you know, what is the word?
This is
Yeah, I
a-
mean, yeah, the person can't even walk, and now you're gonna take a
I think
space.
John's concern is he would like to move around, move this along. So let's get down to what is required for us to give him approval to move ahead with this. We've had him come back 3 times.
I'm not
times.
concerned about his inconvenience, I'm concerned about the site plan that stays with the property. It doesn't matter who owns it.
I am aware of that,
It's with
Catherine,
the
but
property.
let's say what has,
Our first purpose is to
let's see what
provide for the
has-
safe and attractive development or change of expansion of the use of the site and to guard against such conditions as would involve danger or injury to health, safety.
I don't think anything that we've
And
talked
I think
about
it's
would not do
dangerous
that.
for people to step out of that building into essentially traffic, parking.
I think
And a ramp is
John
very,
indicated that
it's
if
not
you want to
Walmart.
make a condition of the approval tonight to move Eric, on Eric's idea, to move a space or to add a space here and move the handicap over one, now you're 19 feet away from the building, which is somewhere over here. So we've got this much, well, I mean, that's the distance, that's what we're talking about. So there's plenty of safe area for people to come out, whether you step up or down. But John has indicated that as a condition of approval, they'll move.
Yes, and
You'll move
that's
it
why I
over.
said, if that is satisfactory, is that satisfactory with everybody on the board? To move those spaces?
Yes.
Catherine?
I'm fine. I'm good.
Why don't we move the sidewalk that he has and not have it there instead of,
Makes sense.
and you won't have to pay extra?
What makes no sense, Catherine?
Yeah, I'd be happy to take that sidewalk and put it in front of the building, and we'll stripe it to make it look like that. I think that's
And
all
you
good.
get the pump, yeah.
Yeah. What else?
Well, I mean, from the list?
Yeah,
Well, signage dimensions, but we already
He's cleared
established
he
that.
said not over 40 feet.
Right.
So that's, is everybody satisfied with that, the signage will not be over 40 feet? Which I believe is what our zoning
That's okay.
requires.
Yeah, I'll just go through there's 5 items.
Okay.
Number 2 is proposed lighting. So, we asked them to identify the lighting,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's here.
which is,
Mark, did everybody see?
marked,
One,
the suns.
2,
I see 3. It doesn't tell us what the lighting is.
Well, it
well,
does.
yeah, it does, over here. Downcast light, downcast night, sky-friendly pole, mounted light, TYP. Okay,
Okay, number 3 is parking lots.
yeah, we got that.
So we discovered that.
Parking dimension.
Number 4 is dimensions of curbing. And I believe I saw that on
Yeah, it's right here.
40.
Right here.
Right
See
here.
it? Everybody see it?
It's
I have-
somewhere
I see
there.
it now.
Hard to read.
If we change that parking space and add that space, it's gonna just change some of the dimensions.
We'll have them re-engineer it.
I'm just trying to find a solution.
Thank you, I appreciate that. It's all good.
Well, we
We're all
can
trying
have
to
that
do
as a condition there.
No, yeah, no, I'm just saying, it's,
Okay, we got that,
Okay.
okay.
Percolation test results.
Have it, it's on file.
And it's,
All right,
I saw it there.
and it's, yeah, it's on the table.
Yeah, you brought that last.
It was like, no, this is the new, the 15-page one.
Yeah,
we did a new- we-
Yeah, this is what we have.
here's the
Pass it
second.
to
Do you want
Jane.
copies?
Second.
Perk results are on page 5, just so you know.
Yeah.
2.5 to 3.
And I think Dara emailed this to us.
Yes.
told us last time there's gonna be one business in there, is that still accurate?
At this point, yes. I don't even have a business, but we're getting an approval for one business, yes.
I saw this already. Does anybody else want to see this? They say Dari sent it to us. Here's this. That's the rest of it.
Did you read it?
Where did it?
And there's
Find
the,
anything you want to mention on it?
I think they didn't mention anything, because I'll get talked over and then get some.
didn't mention what?
She read the report. I asked if she had any comments.
Do you do?
Nope, I do.
Has everybody had a chance to look at this? I'm gonna give this is the original. All right, any other comments?
There's one.
Yeah,
She mentioned there was gonna be lighting on the building.
yes, you did, John.
I did, right.
We
You
know
don't show that on the
I'd be
plan.
happy to,
Yeah, I was gonna say,
I'd be happy to make that a condition and I'll show it lighting on the
Okay.
building.
The light.
Add the additional spot.
Move handicap parking, isn't that what?
Moving that
Mm.
shaded one
Yeah.
over to there.
But they're not actually moving the location of the handicap parking.
Yeah.
They're
Right.
You're just moving it down, right?
One over.
One over.
One over.
Yeah.
So we're trying to figure out how to word it.
Then that sidewalk, instead of being in this spot, going right in front.
The raised pad.
Yeah.
Raised pad will be a raised ramp.
And then the new curb dimensions will change this a little bit.
Subplan should reflect curve dimension changes. And the addition of that one spot.
He's moving the spot.
Oh,
Here?
okay.
Okay.
He's
Then
eliminating
they're
that
adding one
shaded one.
here.
Yeah, and then
Yeah,
adding.
and
the
adding
shaded
a
one.
spot.
here.
Adding a
Adding
spot.
Which will be ADA compliant.
and parking.
An ADA compliant.
Right.
Okay. Anything else, Catherine?
So we got the pad with the ramp, we got that moved, we got the
Oh,
lighting.
yes, there is something else, those catch basins, low water separators should be in there,
In this infiltration system?
and the catch basins before it goes into the water system.
Black dogs in the road.
Oh, these right here?
Yeah.
And
Okay.
then they have some.
But now we goes wherever we can,
So that's
yeah, before this.
No, but it goes, it goes.
Yeah, those go into, those are
last item.
the openings.
We had mentioned it also, I'm not using it.
I don't know if we talked about it, but we've always added them when we could. They have that what they call it, snow.
Yeah, no question.
Yes.
I've known it for a
That's
while.
what they call them.
John, are you hearing that?
It's
And we're putting it as a condition,
What's that?
the oil water
Oh,
separators.
yeah, no
and the-
problem.
Okay.
That's easy.
And the catch
And the
basin.
catch
Yeah,
basins,
that's fine.
Anything else?
Are we gonna be specific as to what type of oil water separator we want in there?
I need to go on the market and get the best price one I can get, you know.
That's pretty
I actually-
common.
I've actually
I don't
built-
think it's in the regs that it has to be a certified.
And I've actually, truthfully, I've built 3 of them already myself. They're pretty easy to
I
build.
was gonna say, didn't you?
I had to do 3 of them. There's one at Winnisquam, I had one in Winnisquam, before we went to the storage. They've all checked them out.
Well,
to this day.
I was gonna do the Winnisquam West,
Yeah,
I
that's
think
true.
we had, that's the one you want,
That's right.
right? Correct, Catherine, I think you were here at the same time.
Yep, exactly.
So we can specify the same type water oil separator as was installed at Winnisquam West.
Thank you.
Which we don't know what it is, but it was,
Well, we approved it, so,
It's in our,
Alright.
Or comparable, or something that
Or
serves the same
comparable.
functional
That's
function.
exactly what we do.
Okay.
And
Just a
That's my
thought.
detail shop, it gives you 2 free.
John, you
Yes.
want to say something?
Nope, I'm good. Thank you.
Anything else?
there is a maintenance that has to do with raw water separators.
Or the same maintenance
Same maintenance
as,
schedule.
So
When
it
it's
should be in the
scheduled.
record that,
yeah,
Yeah.
we'll provide a
problem.
schedule.
One secretary.
We're running out.
She's a board member too,
Same maintenance.
Not today.
Do you know shorthand? Catherine said we
She's
could
probably
pay for
too
any
young.
training.
She's too young for that, probably.
Yeah.
You're gonna be all set.
All right, here are the conditions, listen carefully.
So we see if we got them.
You listen
I
carefully.
will.
Can you
Do
read
we
them?
want to make a motion with the conditions
Yes,
in it?
make the motion, yes, with these conditions.
Okay, I make a motion to approve planning board case 16-03 with the following conditions. The plan should reflect lighting on the building. Move the handicap space one space over. The raised pad will be a raised handicap ramp. The plan curb dimension changes shall be listed. Adding an end ADA parking spot. Catch basins shall have oil water separators that are comparable or the same as the ones that were installed at Winnisquam West. And you shall provide a schedule of payments for those basins.
I just have two things. For the lighting, can we word it so it says show specific locations of lights on buildings? Because I'd like to know where they're going,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I should have said.
okay?
Shows specific.
Yeah.
um,
And the other thing, catch basins as approved, and not installed, but as approved for Winnisquam West, okay? Because we approved those at a prior,
Right.
yeah, Eric.
Should we just, to be specific, state that the handicap space should be one space away from the building and then one space added on the Route 3 side of the
Yeah, you
parking,
can put that in parentheses.
just so that we're,
Instead of being general about,
Right.
instead of saying moving it, just
Yeah,
say move one space.
and we're located.
Over and relocate another one.
Yeah.
right, move the handicap spot one space away from the building and then add the, I think it's an end parking spot, which is closer to the entrance.
I have another one.
You have another one, Ken?
No,
Oh. Anything else?
And then that ramp is specifically gonna be in front of the building. You just said handicap ramp,
Yes.
front of the door there. Front of
Yes,
the front door.
raised pad, be a raised ramp.
That water to pitch.
Located at,
That's
okay,
the
so
entrance door, yes.
an
I don't know
entrance
where
door,
else it would be.
okay?
People won't come in this way, they're gonna get drenched in the
No,
rain.
they won't, that's what they have.
It's going off the sides, remember?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that's what the engineer wanted, so they sign that.
All right, anything else?
Does he specifically need to put this 40 square feet when he gives you that final plan on the
That's
sign?
compliance with
Even though we already
No,
know.
that's what the,
Okay.
From an enforcement standpoint, I guess I don't love the referring to another oil and water separator on another project. Is there a way to word that and maybe say a hood type oil water separator placed over both catch basin outlets? Instead of
I
saying
would not
just like,
feel comfortable unless you wanna go get Winnisquam West's paperwork and show us what that was. So we worded what that was.
But a hood
That's the
system,
wording.
a hood system is pretty typical,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, so what are the?
unless you wanna get into very
What are
expensive
the, how about,
type.
what are the kinds that you
Right.
don't
So-
want? What are the kinds that we want to avoid?
well,
The ones
The
that
ones-
don't split
ones that
the-
don't
The ones that are just the height of the outlet, and it's,
So is there a name for that, or
no.
it's just cheap
No,
ones?
it's just,
It's the,
Okay.
it's the first ones that
Good.
they came up
good,
with.
what did you call it,
The
good?
hood ones are
The
the,
I just
hood,
think
what'd
it's,
you call it?
on
Good,
a hood type oil water
All right,
separator.
that's.
Okay, that's specific enough for me, is it for everybody?
Yeah, I know, that's how they build, I know,
That's
they
good.
build.
That's
I know.
pretty, and it's pretty
Yeah,
basic.
they're building that.
Anything else?
Is that okay?
Yeah, well, really, see what they do, they have this thing, this water tank right here.
All right, do I have a second? All in favor? Aye. All opposed?
This is-
All right.
Is it?
Miracles happen, thank you.
Thank you. I did say thank you.
It's a big relief, it's a lot of stress, thanks a lot.
Thank you, John. I know, we just wanted to see Steve because we hadn't seen him for a while. Said Derek did.
Yeah, it can be flat.
Like, what'd you say? How many pages? If you wrote on the back, you would have more.
Yeah, good for you.
We can split it up. She does the same thing.
What's that?
We know better.
Oh, yeah? You have personal familiarity with it?
Yes, turn the paper over. You want
All right, our next one is a preliminary site plan design review, planning board case 16-05. And it's one of the, I want to remind everybody, even though there may be some things handed out that look fairly official, this is only preliminary,
questions?
time to ask questions and so on and so forth.
So I'm gonna recuse myself, and here's a comment there.
Small correction, it's
Planning board case
1504.
1504, yeah, I'm looking at the minutes.
I know.
So late.
We're here because we want to eliminate any questions that would come up like this happening. So,
Picture.
the aerial one?
Here's an aerial of the property.
No, this one's better. I had a meeting with Dari, so I could make sure I cover all my bases. And this shows what it was before, I think it was last year. June 30th, 2015. You can see the road's already in here. We just did a little thing here on the plan. Here, we cleared this part here. And then also the landing. So we didn't touch any part of the road, except for we graded it with the rake on the back of the tractor. I do have pictures, because one thing that came up with Dari was swales. Here's the beginning, our driveway is here, where it ends. And this is really an easement up to, where's your plan? This line here is an easement, this whole thing is an easement here. So as you were, I didn't know how, if that road was above or
Right,
whatever,
right.
and it was all the way, except for there's like one flat side on the left side way up here. And all of it will be 24 feet except for one culvert area where there's wetlands. So we don't wanna mess with wetlands. Then to show one of the other questions, there's an error on this plan, that's why it's preliminary. The engineer put it as a driveway, and so he only put the width as a driveway. It's really, he's gonna be changing it to road and the 24 feet. Dari questioned whether a fire truck could get around the bin.
Tractor trailer will be able to drive through that.
This is
Go
what
out
it
and
looks
turn around.
like to go around. This is the throughway that we cleared here.
Nice.
So, and then here's another picture of the throughway, so that we can get that. This, so you can see there's a forest in the middle, you know, because it can't be cul-de-sac style. So we got the road swales all the way, they were already there, we didn't change them. We already have the state driveway permit for 3 residences. We've been to the select board who we waived any maintenance of the road. There are markers on the property, but not on this plan for the electrical.
Yeah, it's every 200 feet for a pole, utility pole, and then we're gonna go underground 600 feet roughly to transformer, and then it's 155-foot drop to the house underground. There is a possibility that we may take off from the last pole that was placed on the property back in 2004 and go totally underground to
It was
eliminate,
less expensive.
to eliminate any trees falling on it. It's less maintenance, it's a little more money, but it keeps it safe. It's in the
And
ground,
then we have to come up. Where do we have to come up?
and they don't screw up the forest.
They've given us our own transformer too. We've already had Eversource out there.
Yeah, it's
So they give us
155 feet off the
our own
house.
tra-
It actually
yeah.
ends up right here, right on the apron of the driveway setback.
Dari also had another question. See this, if you look at the plan here, this road was already here. We just did this. This actually continues. It was logging, it goes around and actually comes back to here. So he was, see, this is wetlands, so this is still the same that it was before, and I think you said it was about
Yeah, it's about
25 to
25 to
45 feet.
35 feet off
And
the
it's all
wetlands.
woods.
From the wetland.
Yeah,
And it's this is where it's kind of starting, but it's all woods. And then the road is actually a little bit smaller going up here, which goes up here.
actually, there's like a horseshoe for the driveway that we made. That will be the main entrance, will be off the main part of the road. And the other one's just so you get in the garage, or if you have a trailer, you can get around the yard.
Then he mentioned to say how much we've cleared for the actual house
I'd say it's close to an acre to an acre and a half.
at best, yeah. So we showed the forested in the middle, the swales.
On the delineation of the wetlands, in through here, right here, this culvert, that's where they've advised me not to widen the road.
Yeah.
So I'd be looking
Yeah.
for some type of, I would say variance or
That'll be in 2
waiver.
weeks, yeah.
That way, we don't affect any of the wetlands. The rest of the road, over one of the knolls, gets a little smaller, but you can drive 2 trucks side by side and probably in 3/4 of the roadway. I drive a truck for a living, so the truck goes home will be a lot.
Now, we don't mind having, last time we had Tim Jubert out to come make sure the turns are safe for the fire trucks.
Yeah.
Plenty big enough.
So we were doing that. I know this last one, you had the height of the structure. Do you want a residential home to have the height of the structure on there? We have the house plans too, in case you need to
Let's
see
go to
them.
Boardman.
Well, maybe a thought is if you have an architectural elevation rendering, to just throw that in as part of
Okay.
your submission. Because, yeah, Chairman's right, I mean, obviously Al will be looking at that, but just as a way to ease the board's questions on the
Yeah, I met
answer.
briefly with Al and got the plans from him, but I have to
Oh.
bring those in from him.
Okay.
Architectural, what was it?
Elevation, I said elevation rendering, just more of a drawing than a plan,
Yeah,
Because it's just a single
That's on the back of
building, the garage is under,
That's on the
so.
back of the plan, it shows the house, the elevate,
Oh,
well,
okay.
sort of.
Yeah,
with the
on the house
elevation of the
plan,
garage
so
underneath.
I
Yeah.
can take that page
Yeah,
and then attach it.
exactly, yeah.
So I wanna know, because we're coming to specifically do the site plan on the 14th, what other issues or anything that I need to put on this plan, because the engineer's gonna make the changes as I speak before Tuesday.
Do all this in here, right?
What's that, the drive? Oh, yeah.
Well, this,
We haven't got to the driveway part. You mean driveway permit
Oh.
and stuff? Yeah, that would be with the building permit.
that's all, that's all.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's probably looking for site-specific,
Yeah.
not so much.
And then
Yeah.
site-specific, and then we'll get into the application.
Well, just to make sure that there's, it's delineated as to how far you are from the wetlands.
You wanted to say, like, for this wetlands, how much
How many
for the
feet?
road? Okay.
I mean, I think that's gonna be a question. in my mind.
Yeah, because we didn't change any of that, so. we'll-
I know, but they
This
can change.
indicates it's an existing driveway, and you're not moving it?
No, it's a logging road, and see, the easement part is already here and on the
On the
deeds.
deeds.
Yes.
This logging road, we just put the rake on it, cause some had little grass here or there, but it's dirt.
And there are some small shrubberies and that kind of
And we're gonna
overgrown into
lay
it.
gravel and crushed stone. If you saw, like Tim said, if everybody took care of their road like we did, they'd be all set. That's why we're keeping the road. When we sell this little part, we're keeping this strip with ours, so it can stay there.
Last thing I wanna do is call my boss and say, I got your $300,000 truck stuck in the mud because of my driveway. So the road is built very well.
All wetlands, Jane, or just this section?
Well, the section where there might be a question.
Okay, 'cause then this will be in a written waiver because of there won't be 24 feet,
Yeah.
because then you're messing too much with the wetlands there. And there's already, we thought, the permit was for 6 culverts, we found 5?
Well, when I walked, I don't know if it was 6 culverts for the 68 acres,
Oh.
you know what I'm saying? We have a culvert at the end of our driveway. Scott has 2 culverts, small ones at
Scott's
his
is
driveway. And then on the property, there's a 2-foot and an 18-inch culvert that cross through the 2-foot stream and the 3-foot stream is what they called it. Other than that, there's other culverts
Well-
on the actual 68 acre subdivision.
One of the things Steve was thinking about was putting an additional culvert because of the clearing, and we talked about how everything would
Water,
drain.
water flows downhill. where
We're
the
up at a
house-
higher elevation.
The house is at a higher elevation, and what I did notice over the winter is right here turned into
Little
literally
wet.
an ice skating rink. So what I would like to do is I put a culvert so that
So it
the
stays in
water
the swales.
can get out of the forest in the middle so that it can travel freely to get to the wetlands. That way, it keeps the water off the road, keeps the ice off the road, and the road would actually block the water from taking on its natural route. So if I put a culvert in there, with some riprap under there,
Is that a dredge and fill from DES?
Well, it doesn't sound like it's through a wetland, so.
Not this one, but the additional, the ones that are already in, they did have the dredge and fill, and that's where they
Right,
already
no,
gave me
the
the.
ones you, weren't you just
No,
talking about
this-
draining and?
No, we were
no,
just
this one right here,
seeing if you wanted an additional culvert.
right
We don't-
here. As I noticed, the water was coming down and getting into here.
Cause it's like
And what I'd
flatter
like to
there.
do is I would
We're
put a
up
swale
higher,
in
it goes
here
down.
and put a piece of culvert in. That
Oh,
way,
oh,
that way the
oh.
water, because if you look at elevation,
So it's just
do we have that
sheet
elevation?
flow water.
Right,
Yeah, it's just,
yeah.
it's elevation, the water needs to go where it needs to go
It's
and,
headed to the wetland.
yes, and I'd like to,
You
and I'd
don't
like
wanna
to keep
give it
it,
a place.
I'd
And
like to
he
keep it
doesn't want
going.
it, he doesn't want it to stay on the
You
road.
don't want it to wash.
Yeah, we did a
Yeah.
little ice road trucking on that this winter and it was pretty scary.
I mean, we
I
have,
was listening to
it's like
you,
the
not
big
listening,
frog,
so I
I
guess
think
I'm
this is the
dead.
frog pond.
Yeah, there's a
yeah.
small frog
Oh my
pond down
God,
in the
they're
bottom.
noisy.
too.
Do you allow gigging?
The peepers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there anything, so we'll put the feet between the wetlands, architectural rendering, elevation rendering. The
Location of
structures,
culvert.
oh, that would be that, okay. Would you recommend or not recommend us putting an additional culvert in there? It's not wetlands, but.
The one you just talked about?
Yes.
I would say yes.
I would like to do that. That way it keeps
How does everybody else feel?
natural
Well,
water
that's-
flow
he doesn't
going
need
to where it
permission from us
belongs.
to put a
Yeah,
culvert
but-
on his property.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
But you're see,
If you're
But-
going through a wetland, you need
Nope.
permission from Department of Environmental
It's
Services.
not anywhere near the
Okay.
wetlands.
Okay.
Chairman, I think that it falls under the, basic drainage construction of site drainage. And it goes back to, the regulation that basically your development should not increase runoff and it shouldn't degrade water quality. So, that was why I was saying, submit some before and after images, pre and post images. And I think in large part, the
This was
forest is,
before.
the fact that you have green space all around
Yeah.
the area that you're clearing, that provides mitigation.
Yeah.
And in large part, the things you're
This
gonna,
isn't a commercial development, this
But
is
it's-
residential property.
but it's a subdivision.
Yeah,
And
it's-
mini subdivision.
But, so they go ahead and subdivide, and then they put the culvert in. You see what I'm saying?
I know, I
It's
agree.
residential, so,
Well, sure, that would be a loophole,
Well, I
but
think he would just, he'll put it in,
Yeah.
he would just make a comment.
Yeah.
And
why
we
it
would have
might-
never noticed the
might be
little
helpful.
water, but we've been out there so much now.
Like I said, there was water,
careful with the zoning laws we impose
Water
on
coming
residential
down.
properties.
yeah, but it's actually in the subdivision
it's
regulations.
scary. There's a lot of water there and the ice
But I
is
think that
probably a
has-
foot there.
I know,
I think
I
that has
I
to
mean,
do
the
with
water
the way-
needs to
That's a serious.
go bye-bye.
I thought you meant just a little.
No,
It comes up
probably
twice, it comes up as roadways
75
and
feet
in
long
general.
by the whole width of the road.
The only addition we'll be putting in is a post or something in the beginning on
It's
our
just
easement.
private
Because
drive.
Tim Jubert would like to know that there's more buildings down there, so they're not searching in an emergency, because they'd be pumping every 1,000 feet.
Hmm.
Safety of the citizens.
Was there anything else on the plan that could help us
So
make sure it's done right the first time?
this property, if it's subdivided, will show a clear right-of-way over the existing private drive from Caleb Hill Road.
We're gonna put in, and Scott has an easement here to access his driveway, we'll do the same easement to them, to get to, because they actually have a separate driveway where we're living now. So we'll grant them the easement to come off here the same as they have.
All right, so everybody will clearly have a path to Caleb.
Yes, yeah.
Dated.
Like I said, we wanna just keep it because they don't wanna come on anybody else.
I'm the one that maintains it, so.
No problems with that?
I mean, you went through these,
Well, we have,
Like I said,
I mean,
it's actually a real nice road.
yeah.
yeah.
That's
Even
basic.
dirt.
Very nice.
I've spent
Yeah.
200 hours out there working straight.
This has been over a year, right?
Yeah, over a year, yeah. We put silt fence up
Yeah, come on up.
because I don't want the grade, yeah, anybody's welcome to go walk up the property.
I wrote, drove.
You're walking
that
along-
through
Big
the
bug
area.
spray,
Oh, you went on our property?
the big,
No, I did it from the road. I had my shotgun, just in case.
Well, we found
That's
since
nice.
we started clearing there, hunters still, because it's 22 acres, so one of them walked off with a chainsaw, and so we actually had to post our property now just because they're not used to.
A hunter came on and
Yep.
took a chainsaw.
Oh, yeah, we could see it. And
They
they beat the
looked like-
footprints.
it looked like they had gutted a deer, and they had it in a travel bag. What they were
Dragging.
doing is they were walking with it, and they'd drop it, and then they'd walk with it, and then pick it up and drop it.
Yeah.
They took a
So-
chainsaw.
Yeah, I kinda,
Yeah, it's
I
the
kinda
old
know who
chainsaw.
it is, but I'm not
We
gonna
think
point
we
any
do, yeah.
fingers because I don't have proof.
That's all right, somebody drove through my front lawn the other day.
And
I think it was a
I
hunter.
wrote on my
Someone
signs,
just
you
drove
will
all
be
the way
shot.
up, because they saw the for sale sign, they drove up and they thought there was a subdivision, and I'm like, Steve, somebody's driving the
I
property.
met
So
him
he
up, I
chased
met him
them
up
out
right about
there.
here with the John Deere. I said, can I help you?
So they wanted to buy it.
Oh, he says, this is a real nice road. There's you guys building houses out here. Can we buy a lot? I says, no, this is all mine. He goes, wow, that's really nice.
Well, people pull up to Dave Wadley's, that vacant lot, Catherine next to me,
Mm-hmm.
and they park out front there, and they get out with their shotguns, and I know what they're doing, but every year at the beginning of hunting season, I do a double take, and oh my God.
Yeah, they find
I've had people come up and bang on the door and ask me if
They
they can
ask.
hunt. And I said, yeah, park your car here. That way I know you're out there. And if you don't come back by dark, I can call the Dane Wood and get your body out of the woods.
Did you ask for like some bacon or something?
Yeah.
Hey, it's nice that they knock at the door. I guess people used to just always hunt there. And an older gentleman said he used to come there all the time. Yeah, so.
Hmm.
Is there anything else on the plan? I just.
That's all I can, anybody else got anything?
Okay, the only other thing I want to clear is on the application, the part that is for more than 3 lots, I want to make sure if there's anything that you're going to need there, even though we already have some things done extra on there, like the fire department letter we have. There'll be test pits because the engineer has to do that for the septic. And the soils are, he did all, this is all brand new wetlands because you have to have them done every 5 years if you do a subdivision, so he's remapped all the wetlands. He said the previous engineer, he doesn't want to comment about. They said the map is off.
Well, but wetlands change over time.
I was gonna say wetlands can't change, because somebody said something earlier about, well, it's been there for so, it can change, it does
Yeah.
change.
Well, yeah, it was
Well,
mentioning
if
that
a
Dari
stream
trees
gets
fall down.
clogged, it takes over
Yeah.
and moves over to the next lowest spot.
So at any of these items, it's for more than 3 lots, but I wanna make sure if I need them, that I have them in advance on the last page of the application.
I don't know, not everyone has that, do you wanna read them off?
One says soil types, then it says location of test pits and pit logs, percolation test data, water mains, sewers, and other utilities, well, we already have the electrical, that's all we have. Road profiles, statement regarding approval by water supply and pollution control, we have private. Letter from Tilton Northfield
That's, you,
Fire Department, ascertaining adequate emergency vehicle access, which we're gonna have him come at least check these terms.
yeah,
And letter from TN Aqueduct Company ascertaining the proposed water plans have been reviewed. Are any of those?
you don't need that, because you're
Yeah.
gonna have a well.
A lot of those you have though, right?
Like, well, the road profile we talked about, but I don't know if it's on this topography, that just shows flowage. So I mean, we could indicate where, that it's all swales except for like one section is flat on the left side.
Those are where the pictures you took.
Yeah, and they were all there before. It's, because his question was make sure the road was above where water was draining, and it was already. I just wasn't sure at the time. And then soil types, like I said, the wetlands have all been remapped, so.
Yeah.
There will be test pits, just not, actually, there will be test pits a lot sooner than we wanted, but. So those. Do you want to require any of those on the plan?
We need,
Well,
Just in case.
yeah, I mean,
Because it says
here,
more than
let's-
3, I just don't want it to come up.
Right, because there have been times where I know the board has looked and said, you know, we really do need these. Soil types, did you say you have?
Well, the wetlands were all remapped, so he had to test soil to show, because some of it was dry. And
Okay.
he
but it
could
was
tell by
wetland.
the soil what was wet.
So can you submit that information? That'll cover it.
If he has.
Well, he marked it, all the wetlands. I don't know if he has actual type, but I can check with him, it's him.
Check with them.
Yeah,
So
because he did have the,
95% ledge.
yeah.
I think you,
Well, shale.
a letter from Tim Joubert would.
We have one, but I'm gonna get another one
Yeah.
because he didn't see this, of what we talked about on the curves,
Right,
just to be
right.
sure.
One final letter from him so the planning board knows that what you guys are finally proposing, he's okay with. Road profiles. I
And
think-
everybody was all set with the woods that were blocking the loop, right? I'm sure. It's forest,
Yeah.
this one. So kinda,
There's
cause
probably
in
100
case we had to go
by-
wider, but it's already
3.
cleared.
It's probably about 100 feet wide by 300 feet long, I would assume. If I had to guess.
Just add
There's
that.
none that I feel I should recommend that you guys definitely demand, other than the letter from the fire
I can bring
department.
more pictures.
I think the
showing
letter from
more
the
of
fire
road.
department is really important.
He'll be out there firsthand
Yeah,
to go. I spoke with him last week.
he was the one who brought
Because
this,
that's a wide road.
trainee in to show him our, cause we have sprinkler system.
Oh,
And
yeah.
he showed him the motor, it's like a pool motor and how it worked, and I'm like, oh, we're a lesson today.
Yeah, right, you're a cutting edge
And we will have
example.
sprinklers in the new cabin, we have sprinklers now, so. Yeah, cause we're so, cause when we talked to Tim, every 1,000 feet, he's gotta put a pump truck till we get to the fire hydrant, which is a long ways off.
Grab the garden hose, quick.
Yeah. Retention pond.
Yeah. A pond.
Yeah, thought about that.
I'm serious, that's
We, yeah.
a good solution.
We wanted to, but we'll see what happens, because I don't know if that'll be approved.
Okay,
How
all
about
right,
that after?
thank you. Anything else?
Anything, I just want to make sure, because we're on board, on the meeting next. Well, I have to give you the check and the application.
Mhm.
You have your butters list?
Yep.
Drew?
Yep.
Okay,
Now,
Thank
do
you,
I
Christine.
submit these before and after pictures with it?
I think you should.
I will
Yeah.
submit anything you have, and then
Okay.
it'll be in a file in case posterity ever questions anything, okay?
Yeah, it's gonna be still a long road, taking our time, doing it a lot ourselves, so. I think that'll be it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, the next thing are the minutes of May 10th. Has everybody had an opportunity to review those?
Yes. Good already.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve them as written.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
I abstain.
And abstaining.
I
And
didn't have a
abstain.
copy to read, so.
Oh, you didn't?
That's okay.
Okay, we have no correspondence. Is there any other business?
Make a motion to adjourn.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right, thank you.
Can I submit the application to electronically?
Yeah, definitely. The more you, yeah.
That's
Oh,
for Judy.
Okay.
Judy.
whatever. I mean, can you scan the signature page or?
Concord, I.
Oh, yeah.
No,
I mean,
Oh.
if you can do that, then that's fine, that's fine. I don't need to.
I said, I gotta remember to take my consent to give it to you.
So I'm just trying to figure out where one ends and the other begins.
Jules, a picture of the
And
house?
I'm not sure.